Hey guys, Remy here. So I thought about the Shiba Inu token sometime last year when half of the total circulating supply was transferred to Vitalik. And of course, that made international headline news. So I've looked into it and I didn't really think much of it. It was like, yeah, cool, that's a cool stunt. And of course, he gave like 10% of it to India COVID relief fund and burned the rest of it because really he had no other choice and nothing else to do with the coins. I mean, he couldn't really sell them because if he dumps them on an exchange, or that's just gonna like crush the value, and he wanted to help the Indian COVID relief fund, so he had no choice but to burn them. That was an interesting story anyway, and it's made headline news for Shiba Inu, but all it was is just an ERC20 token. So I left it at that. But this year, I found out that they've actually been creating something called the ShibaSwap. And ever since it was released last month, I've read a few articles about it. I found it quite interesting, to be honest, but I've never really looked into it until today. So today I've decided to make a video to just play around with it and show you how to yield farm on ShibaSwap. So naturally, the first thing I did, as you very well know me, so the first thing I did was I went to Google, and once I am on Google, what I did was I typed ShibaSwap, and then I typed GitHub. As you can see, it's even in the history because I wanted to look at the code. Naturally, the very first thing I want to do when I see a project is I want to look at their code to see what it's like and to see like the participants, how many forks, and like just the actual code. I want to see that it's there. I want to see that, like, even if I don't understand the code, because just by looking at it, like, what the hell, but I just want to see that it's there, that it's transparent, so that I can trust it. However, when I found out, like, I've looked at the whole bunch of these things, like almost all of them. I've seen the NPM core, the NPM package, and then finally I found that this was actually the official repository for ShibaSwap. And the only thing it contains is this tiny README and of course the URLs, which are very useful, and we're gonna use them in a second, and the white paper. Okay, cool. I thought, white paper. Well, let's download the white paper and see what it's like. So I've downloaded the white paper. It is right here, and I've read through it. I've read through all of it, and honestly, this is not so much a white paper as official documentation of how ShibaSwap's supposed to work, and a whole bunch of shilling about like, yeah, we're gonna take over the world and stuff like that. Not to mean any offense to the ShibaSwap creators. I really like the project, so don't get me wrong, but guys, this is not a white paper. White paper is supposed to be technical specifications of like how the code actually works and how everything interacts with each other, and how one, by reading the white paper, can basically replicate your project with enough skill and program it from scratch. Whereas this is more like the official documentation of how to use ShibaSwap. Well, okay, cool. We'll make do. So I have a read through. I've had a read through it. I recommend you do the same. It's a very simple one. Basically, it just tells you like what happens when you bury, by which they mean stake, and then you get the ShibaSwap liquidity pool tokens, and then of course you can dig, which means provide liquidity on the ShibaSwap, and that's where it caught my eye. They do something that was very interesting. So basically, when you provide liquidity to a liquidity pool, if it's one of the native tokens of ShibaSwap, which are the Shiba Inu coin, of course, and Bone and Leash. So if you provide liquidity to one of those three pools, then you not only get the transaction fees for all of the swaps happening in these pools, but you also get the transaction fees for all of the swaps happening within some of the other pools. For example, in the case of Leash, 0.3% for all of the transaction fees of wrapped Bitcoin and USDC. And for Bone, it's 1% of Bone mint per block. So basically, you get Bone for transaction fees of other pools which you do not even participate in, and they're just accumulate in your account, meaning that you basically are guaranteed a passive income. So it's a guaranteed income that you receive when you provide liquidity of one of the three native tokens, assuming that people are using those other pools. So even if people are not using your pool, or even if you lose all of your liquidity due to price fluctuations, you still get that guaranteed bond for all of the other pools that are valid, that are eligible. So let's see how that works. So basically what I've done is next is I funded a new MetaMask. I've created a new MetaMask account and I put $50 in it. And I've decided to go ahead and go to ShibaSwap, which is this. By the way, first I went to Shiba Inu token as per this website right here. That's where I clicked. And then you can just click use ShibaSwap, and that takes you to the ShibaSwap, their official page. Let's see. Here we are. They have a total value locked of 355 million, which, by the way, for context, last month was 1.4 billion dollars. So it's on its way down. Just not insinuating that this means anything. It's just for context. Do with that information as you will. Anyway, so I've linked my wallet and I've decided to dig. So the first thing I did was I clicked provide liquidity, and then you'd have to click add liquidity, and then you select the pair. So my pair was ETH, and I decided to do BON because I saw a YouTube tutorial and the guy was saying how you could earn passive income with that particular with the BON, because if you provide liquidity, as I said, to one of the native tokens, you get rewarded for other pools as well in transaction fees. So basically what I've done is I've provided some liquidity over here. I don't have any more in this wallet. But anyway, all you had to do was this, and you had to click enter amount. And I gotta tell you, I've spent about overall $45 maybe on gas fees alone, because obviously it's not worth doing this if you're only doing it with $50 or a couple of $100. Like if you're talking about thousands of dollars, then yeah, absolutely, those gas fees are negligible, but the gas fees are still the gas fees. So if you do it with $50, you're spending $50 on gas fees. It's like, which is why I did my actual legitimate investments on Polygon for a whole other reason, for this very reason. And when I say for the whole other reason, I actually meant to say for this very reason. There's no other reason. It's just the transaction fees. And I'll make a video on Polygon in the future, actually explaining the cons and the pros. Anyway, so I've decided to dig. So I'll place dig, and I've provided the liquidity, and then afterwards, I've received what's called the ShibaSwap liquidity pool tokens into my MetaMask wallet. I don't have them anymore because what I've done next is I've staked them. And the way you stake them, so after you provide the liquidity, you go to Woof. So Woof your returns is what it's called. Stake SSLP and claim returns. And that means you basically claim BON, the new BON that is minted, plus the transaction fees from all of the other pools. So this was the pool that I was in. And basically, let's just go ahead and go into another pool. You know, the one where you don't have any, so I don't have any liquidity in this pool, so I'm not actually. So basically, when you go into here, you see two options. Let's say approve, and then you have this, there we go. So basically first you gotta approve it through MetaMask so that you can actually stake your ShibaSwap liquidity pool tokens. That's a mouthful. Yeah. And then you would deposit them into right here. So you would just click max. I don't have any more, but you can see I deposited 0.2 liquidity pool tokens into here. So once you deposit, you basically are generating BON right away. And as you can see, that's actually pretty fast. So I've got 0.006 BON, which is a very small amount. One BON is, each BON is equal to $1.80, but it actually generates quite fast. So I've done this about an hour ago before filming this video, and I've already got 0.006, and this is just passive income from just providing the liquidity. And so I've provided about $50 worth of liquidity in ETH and BON, and this comes here from all of the other pools that are eligible to provide me with this free BON as transaction fees from all of the other pools. For example, Woofable died this week. So you can see only for BON ETH. So this is me, BON ETH SSLP staker. So you get 33% of your DAI rewards are distributed weekly. I haven't gone awake yet, but you can woof them as they accrue and stuff like that. But you can basically woof this BON. And by woofing this BON, it basically means withdrawing it to your wallet. So if I click here, as you can see, basically the gas fee is $22. So I'm obviously not gonna do it now. Not even for the purposes of this video. I'm sorry guys, it's $22. But if I were to do it, or if this was a significant amount of bond that I was actually incentivized to do it, I could withdraw it and it would go straight into my MetaMask wallet. And once it was in my MetaMask wallet, this bond, I could go back to ShibaSwap. I could go to swap, and from there, what I could do is I could swap that bond back for ETH. And in my case, that's exactly what I'm gonna do once that bond actually reaches a significant amount, if ever, or if it's gonna eclipse the price of the gas fee. Whenever it's gonna be profitable, I'm gonna go ahead and woof it and send it back to ETH. By the way, I think I've missed an important part at the very beginning of this video. When not at the very beginning, but at the very beginning of the process of so first you gotta actually swap some ETH for bond in order to be able to provide liquidity. So about half of it, I'd say, is good enough. So you just go ahead and you swap half of your ETH for bond, and then you can provide liquidity because you need both tokens in order to provide liquidity into the pool. So first swap and then click dig. So this has been ShibaSwap in a nutshell, at least for the digging part. I haven't tried fetching because I don't have any Uni V2 liquidity pool tokens, and I haven't tried bearing because bearing is like staking. Let's actually have a look. Still some pretty juicy APYs, especially if you bury bond. Maybe I'll try later. By the way, these APYs, especially for digging, as you can see, they're pretty high. But just for context, last month they were like 1,000 or 2,000%. Now they're 241%, and it's going down. And the reason, there are two reasons why the APRs would ever go down. So one reason, there are more liquidity providers in the pool, which means that the rewards are more dispersed across all of the token holders. And another reason is that less people use your pool overall. So those are one of the two reasons. And in this case, I think it would be that I don't actually know which reason it would be in this case. Maybe a combination of both. But yeah, again, do with this information as you like, but it has gone down overall. But naturally it will, because there will be more people providing liquidity than before, assuming that the total locked value would be going up. But it wasn't going up. It's actually going way down since last month when it was $1.4 billion. So again, this information, do with it as you like. So this has been ShibaSwap in a nutshell. What do I think about the project? Honest opinion, I think it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And their UI is very user-friendly, and you can do a whole lot of things with it and have some cool options. Like, for example, I love that you can stake your liquidity pool tokens and get bond from all of the other pools. But what I don't like about it, and this is the biggest thing I don't like about it, is that they don't have a GitHub page, and you can have a look at their code, and you can't see the official documentations, and you can't really read people's reviews on GitHub and find bugs, and like all those kinds of things. Yeah, I'm a programmer, I'm a developer, so if somebody doesn't have a GitHub page, or if the repository is private, especially in the DeFi ecosystem, like if your repository is private, or you don't have you have a publicly available GitHub page or a code repository, then I just don't trust you. I'm sorry, but I just don't trust you. If your code is not transparent and if I can't see it, I don't trust you. So that is my decree of ShibaSwap. Maybe it's a legitimate project. Maybe I should trust it. Maybe they have good intentions for the people, and I believe it's not. Do I think it's a scam? No, I don't think it's a scam. I think it's a very interesting project, but to earn my trust, you gotta show me the code, and I don't know what the code is at this point. So this is my official decree. Go ahead and try it if you like. Actually seems to generate pretty good APRs, but I wouldn't invest my life savings into it. So that is not what I would do with ShibaSwap. But just to play around, great project, very interesting, fun to learn. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been Remy, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.